My name is Elaine, this is Elena's XYZ, and I woke up like this. So I'm actually turning 35 in 5 days. That feels significant. Maybe because it's older than any piece of pop culture seems to have ever set for a woman to age to, and yet I have none of the trappings of what a younger me would have thought a 35-year-old person would have. I don't mean that as a bad thing, it's just an interesting reassessment of what mid-30s looks like. And so, since I have these 5 days, I figured it would be a good time to reflect, and in internet parlance, glow up. To me, there are probably 5 things that I could use a glow up in. The first, yes, I should do something about this whole thing. That should be fun. The other 4 steps for me, though, are glowing up physically, so I'm going to be exercising as much as I can and eating relatively healthy, or as healthy as I can in the week before my birthday. Glowing up mentally, thinking about new skills I can learn and how I can go about learning them. And glowing up in soul. We've inherited a bit of a mess of a world. Even things that I could say 10 years ago, that we were healthier, happier, and richer than any other generation in history, is probably not true anymore. There are credible people saying this world might not last past 2050, and who knows if that's just fatalist, but as long as I'm here on the world, I might as well try to do some good for it. And so I suppose these 5 days will also be working towards that. Seeing what good I can put out into the world in my 35th year. Oh, and then number 5, I need to figure out a way to glow up in capitalism. A part of me feels like doing good would probably have something to do with dismantling capitalism, but in the same time I still have to live in it. And so these next 5 days will also be spent trying to make myself a little better at it, especially now that I have to freelance. Alright, so first glow up appointment is coming up soon. Consider this day 1.
Hey, it's the disembodied voice of Elaine from the future here to tell you how I did it, because it turns out that glowing up in 5 different ways takes a decent amount of time, what with making appointments and running to and fro, and just generally trying to fit planning everything into quiet hours in between. But basically the schedule looks something like this, and to make it a little less messy, I'll more or less talk about each category one by one. So one of the first tasks for this glow up is in fact pretty traditionally glow up related, in that I am going to do something about beauty. I am a nearly 35-year-old woman who has never really paid much attention to her brows. I just know that mine are not very existent, and so I'm going to an esthetician who is going to henna something on for me, and then maybe that shape will work. And I can learn to do it for myself. So not bad. It's clean and subtle, right? Alright, first beauty thing done. And I don't look like that one dog from Animal Crossing, so that's great. As part of the body glow up, I'll be doing 5 different exercises across these 5 days. I'm not a person who naturally enjoys moving. In fact, if I don't stop myself, I can spend 3 days basically only transporting myself between a couch and a bed. But a couple of years ago, I kind of realized that being physically fit enough to just say spontaneously go join people on a mountain or see my friends while I'm walking around a city was actually kind of important to me, and so I've been forcing myself to move ever since. It really has been forcing myself. So I'm about to go into my last class. I haven't been super great at filming these, mostly because one of the things I like about this gym is that everything is multi-level, which means you get people who are super fit and stretchy, but you also get people like my mom, who I've been bringing to some of these classes, who is not as confident in her fitness level and body composition, and so, you know, out of courtesy to them, I've been trying not to film anybody except for me. Sometimes when you're starting at a very low level, Fitspo is less inspiration and more, oh my god, how am I not able to do any of this? Am I even human?
But you are human, and what's important is getting out there, feeling safe enough to try new things, and make your body uncomfortable until it gets comfortable. 3 years into exercising regularly, and I still don't do marathons or backflips, but I can finally touch my toes and go through an entire routine with actual weights, and I haven't caught a cold this entire year. And that's something.
I'm combining the soul glow up here too, because at least to me it's also about health. Except instead of, you know, individual healthiness, it's thinking about the health of the community, the earth, and in my case for a glow up this week, the American political system.
Well, more like my participation in the American political system. For many years, I've been using being abroad as an excuse to be like, ew, politics, because humans being political really are kind of annoying.
I figured if I'd do any good, it'd be either through international NGOs or like corporate social responsibility. Maybe just having enough money to do good. But holy crap, somewhere along the way, while some idiot was creating like Pantsuit Nation as a Facebook group, other folks rolled out Cambridge Analytica and widespread voter suppression tactics and distracted us with like some clown saying terrible things while weakening every institution that would keep America from turning into this dystopian hellscape rich person piggy bank.
So what do you do when problems are super hairy and complicated and any individual action is a bit like spinning on a fire? You join up for collective action too. In this case, I've committed to a group helping Americans vote and be politically active back home. Being abroad gives a unique perspective both of America's still super important place globally and how it could make itself better to itself. And we've got a little over a year filled with special elections and combating other terrible world-burning initiatives coming out of the US to try and do something.
Anyways, this is just a start, but I'm blowing this the hell up. Today's beauty glow up is all about hair. To get my hair to this color, it takes something like 7 hours, and I'm planning on doing something a little crazier with it this time since, you know, I don't have to look super professional for the next 6 months or so. Yay. Super cool, and quite a look for me. The next step in my glow up is all about the mind and learning a new skill. In the rest of my life, I've done a lot more still medium, so obviously writing, because that's been my career profession for the last 12-something years, but also, you know, photo editing and some art sketching, painting, etc. But this medium of figuring out how to frame a video and understanding lighting and understanding timing, to be honest, these last couple of videos have been me learning a new skill.
So today I'm highlighting 3 YouTube channels that I've been utilizing to try to understand this medium a little better and figure out how I can make my equipment work for me.
Alright, 3 resources. First is Sorella Moore, who has a bunch of tutorials on photography and posing that have been supremely useful on how to compose shots. Yes, she focuses mostly on still images, but tips like perch at the edge of your chair or try not to have a background pole coming out of your head are things that I am slowly noticing while filming, or after I have already filmed. It's a work in progress. Speaking of a work in progress, I recently came across the Make Art Now YouTube channel with Josh Yo. He is an actual filmmaker, capital letters, and I am far, far away from being able to even get close to emulating him. But he throws in so many great lessons applicable to any camera, even when reviewing way out of my price range stuff, that I really feel like I leave every video going, oh, I can do a janky version of this that is still an upgrade to what I'm doing now. And finally, a very young vlogger, but also my intro into the world of possibility here for independent YouTube creators. Best Dressed, which is like 70% fashion, but also a lot of a person talking to the camera about things in an incredibly engaging manner. I will probably never get 2 million followers, but I do know that if I wanted to create something, I wanted the freedom to go outside of possible niches like travel or tutorials, to chat about things meaningful to me and do that chat well. And here's a kid who's doing that chat well.
Okay, so in the last 3 months since I've quit my job, I've been spending a lot of money on myself. And while I do have enough savings to last at least a year, I am getting a little antsy, probably because this is the first time I haven't been working since maybe before college. And so that means part of this week has been me kicking off my freelancing career for realsies, because if I want all of these travels to last longer than this year I've given myself, I'd like that option.
And that means taking a moment, setting up some business goals, outlining what I can offer, and putting that offer on the internet. Basically, I've helped a bunch of people over the years with these resume things, so I'm doing it for myself now.
Weirdly, it's always easier to do that for someone else than it is to do for yourself. Have you ever felt that? But you know what? This vlog is getting kind of long now, and this is some detailed adult stuff, and I think I might want to make a video out of it specifically. So just know that I created a business plan and updated my LinkedIn and listed all my services, and I should have my first freelance paycheck already on the way. And hopefully I will be able to create a work-life balance in the next couple months. That is awesome. Instead, let's go straight to the final part of this birthday glow up.
A long time ago, when I was so very small, perhaps the age of the average girl YouTuber, some older acquaintance said she was going to go out and look for a photographer to capture some more professional, sexier looking keepsakes for when she was not so young and hot anymore. And I didn't really get why back then. But I'm 35 now, oh my god. If I average out the ages of when my grandparents died, this is the beginning of the midpoint of my life. And that's why I'm in a photographer studio myself, getting primped up and ready to go out to some random botanical garden to take something to remember the me of now by. I guess there's only several reactions to choose from when you feel your mortality and the gloss of youth slipping through your cracked fingers as society crows about how you are a crone all alone, right? You can ignore it, which I'm convinced for most people is actually just them pretending to ignore it. You can fear it, which is a really big drag to put on yourself. Or you can celebrate it. So here I am, blowing up at 35.